Hello, welcome pen friends. Thanks to the incredible generosity of pen friend Marilyn over at Miss Marilyn Darling channel, I have samples of the Diamine Inkvent for 2022. So as I film this, it's going to start tomorrow for me. And I have my wooden advent calendar ready. And the little samples he sent, I put one in each of the little cubbies and the correct day. And it's just amazing. It's going to be fun. They're in there. They're ready for me. And I've been trying to keep my fingers out until tomorrow. So we're going to move over to the desk and I'm going to show you the preparations I've made for this. There, that was kind of shaky. Sorry about that, but I wanted to show you, since I don't have the cardboard, packaging for the Advent, what I'm using, which is the wooden. It's from Christmas Tree Hill, and I got a discount on it after Christmas one year, and I ordered it. And I'll link you to the product, but it's gone way up in price, darn it. But hopefully, if you're really interested in it, hopefully they'll have a discount after the holidays at some point. Anyway, it's wooden and it holds the ink vials. It's really, really good. So that's where they are. Then what I'm going to do is walk you through what I've done just to prepare in my ink journal and the materials that I'm going to use. So we'll start in the ink journal. I just got done, kind of prepping the, what do we call it, the spread. And I'm really, really, really pleased with it. It's going to be like last year. In just a minute, I'll show you the filled in one. Now, last year, I didn't do very well with keeping up and with doing the videos even that I wanted to do. Last year, my goal was to do like maybe 4 videos recapping what I did with the ink. But I, to be honest, I don't remember what it was that threw me off, and we'll just have to see how I do this year. I'm not going to put pressure on myself, but I'm really, really excited about it this year, even more so than last. So this is my spread, and I'll just come in each day with, well, probably with the automatic pen because it'll be so much easier than the paintbrush. Maybe with this automatic pen and just put the color on. It's just really kind of fun to be able to see all the colors. So let me lay last year's on top of this just to show you. This is how it looked last year when I finished. So now I can always turn back and look and see what each color was and the name. And I have, remnants of the little samples and tiles and everything. And I'll show you where I house those. So after all this time, after 6 years, or maybe at least 5 years using these shell boxes, I don't get tired of them. I really like them. So this is last year's, and what I ended up with was, let's see, I guess this is where I typed it out. I also did a giveaway last year, so I had them all typed up and for myself too, and oh dear. There was that. And then I have actually kept these tiles in here, which is at my own peril probably, because when I'm doing color comparisons, I should always get into here too. I tell you, sometimes I don't think of everything. And then I did the little tiny coloring dipper so that I would have this. I just felt like it was nice to keep it together. I didn't purchase any full bottles of any of these, but I really enjoyed, last year what I enjoyed the most was having the giveaway, and then one set went to Denmark and one went to Brazil. It took forever to get to Brazil, but the person finally got it, and I was so happy and relieved when it got there. So I liked this so much. Let's see. It does close, or it did. Oh, what have I done? Well, probably only one way on earth that it closes. Yeah, okay. So I decided to do the same thing this year, but apparently I don't have as many stickers this year, so I'll have to look and see. I've got a couple of old labels I can use. I'm just ready to put them in here because there happen to be 25 vials, and there's 25 slots, and these are actually shotgun, 10 or 12 gauge shotgun shell cases. Made in the USA by MTM. Yeah, so anyway, I've got several of them. You guys that have been here have seen. And so I'll do the same thing this year. I'll have my little list and I'll have my coloring. Okay, so let's move on to the next stuff that I prepared. I just thought I would help myself out by preparing ahead of time because I know myself and I know how busy this time of year is too. So these are the chromatography strips. I saved this old package because the next time they sent them, they only sent them in like plastic, and this really kind of protects them. So I got those, and I cut them down to a smaller size, so I have a couple already cut. But, you know, that only takes me seconds, so I'm not too worried about that. And then this morning I cut out, I had maybe 4 or 5, but I went ahead and cut out 2 pages worth. So I cut out 24, so I've got over 30 in case I make a blooper. These will end up being the ink tile for each color. Last year, I think I sent the set over to Matt, so I may need to cut some more because that way, doing that, unless someone else is planning to do that, I'll do that. Then I'll want a set for myself too. Or maybe he returned them last year. My memory is not what it used to be. Okay, then I decided, oh, I was supposed to say this in the beginning and I forgot. At least I wanted to let you know this. Normally on this day, the day before the first of a new month, I always release Chris's inked pens, but I'm not doing a December complete new set of Chris's inked pens because I'm doing this instead, and I'm going to use my dip type pens or hybrid pens. Well, this is an ink syringe, and I've got the little Pilot. Let's see, I got to reach for something. The Pilot Yutsushi. Okay, I can't really say it, but it's a medium nib dip pen. I'm going to use this. This to me is like a fine, but it is a medium Japanese nib. So this is one option. And then I've got my Serendipity from Pensive Pens in Australia with a broad nib on it. This, like I said, this automatic pen is a number 2, and it'll probably just be to kind of put that little color into the ink journal. And then this one is a Serendipity Mini with I think that's a medium nib on it. So it just depends, like if I want to see what I want to see, what the mood is, I guess, of the day. And then I did put a little Kaweco 1.1 stub on the Caran d'Ache. This poor thing is just barely surviving, but it still works. So in case I wanted to see a quick stub nib dipping, I've got the nib puller for these Serendipities. It's a lobster band. And I do have other nibs that I could switch for, but I think keeping it as simple as I can is probably going to keep me going, keep me doing things doing what I want to do with this. Cool. Okay, so I got that. And then I have a Lochby 68 GSM to my river paper booklet. And what my vision is to do it somewhat like I used to, where I would go in and just, do stuff. It may not look exactly like these, but usually ends up looking something like this, but it may not be quite as neat because I think I'm going to skip pages and just directly splatter on the pages and not worry so much about wasting, paper, because it's not a waste. It's just more fun than having to cut out all these additional pieces. So this must have been a blue month, and then I went over into a red. Anyway, so something like this, and I was looking at the old ones for inspiration. So, every morning or every day, probably morning, because in order to do anything consistently, I seem to have to establish a pattern, and then I do really well. That's what I didn't do last year. I was just sort of all over the place, and I didn't quite pull it off. But I think I'll do better. I know I'll do better this year, and the reason I know is because Marilyn sent me these samples. That took a lot of time and effort to put together those samples and syringe them into those vials. And so to honor the gift, I need to, and want to enjoy and share and all that good stuff. So let's see, what have I forgotten to mention? So, I mean, I've got pens inked up that you wouldn't believe. I've got reviews planned and things like that. So I can keep, you know, cleaning pens as I go in December. And let's see, I've got all these comparison pens out ready for a review. I don't know what the deal is with having so many Lochbys out. I've got these ready and half of them are inked. And, you know, because I'm working on a little quick review that I really want to do. And so December won't be a lack of content for you, but it'll be different, which I think is kind of cool because I even get bored with, you know, some of my favorite stuff, which Chris's ink pens is one of my favorite things to do. Oh, I have another place I could splatter around in. I've got room in this Hobonichi Weeks where I've been putting in color, but that just depends on how carried away I get, I guess. I do like to do that to see. Oh, and I was finishing some of the Inkvent 2021. Oh my goodness, it's just, yeah. The abundance is actually, let's see, my mother calls it the price of prosperity. And she sent me this little cartoon once with like this little cartoon girl. She's looking at all her shampoos and conditioners and stuff. And down below, the tag on it, it probably came from the New Yorker, because if I know my mom. And it said, the price of prosperity, and I never forgot that because I thought we shouldn't complain lest we forget that what we're dealing with here is prosperity. So okay, so those are my plans. Oh, and as far as videos, my goal. Let's just, you know, I'm not making hard, fast promises because I never know what's around the corner, and the next day or the next day we could get really busy with appointments and things. There are 3 that I know of in December, but my plan would be to every so often, every few days, and I'm not going to specify, you know, but maybe 4 times, I want to come on and just do a journal flip through and talk about how it's going and show you the inks. And if there's any that I'm really jazzed about, I tend to end up doing something like, you know, show similar colors. You know, I like to do that, but not on every single one. I'm sure there'll be a few in there that, okay, I've seen it, and I've written with it. So I plan to do writing with them. You know, just like I did here, I'm apt to write about just about anything, though. It doesn't always have to be the quick brown fox. And then I'll share with you whatever I can and whenever I can in December. So I hope that if you're planning to do the Inkvent, that you got even one little tiny idea even would be cool from this video, or inspiration, or if you want to do Inkvent with samples that you have or bottles that you have. It's really fun. That was my plan before Marilyn offered, you know, to send me the sample set. I planned on just sort of filling, you know, scrambling up some samples and then having my husband number them for me or something, so there would be a surprise. So I hope you'll have a great December all the way around, but especially a nice inky time, and that this gave you a couple ideas if you're looking for ideas. And I love the spread. I've seen other spreads that I'm even more impressed with. I just keep it super simple, and I've figured out these boxes, I think, are 8 by 7. Let's see. Yeah, they're approximately 8 by 7, and you end up with your calendar. Of course, it ends here. It ends on the 25th, so I didn't make the little boxes in here. But I like this. It gives you a nice overview. I think there probably aren't any others in this one, but in this one I did it several different times. I did, you know, like September, 30 inks, 30 days, kind of like that, maybe a little different. And then usually wherever I'm tabbed, there's something cool. Ooh, there's another September. Ooh, those are pretty. 2020. Oh, that's a year to remember. Okay, I'm going to leave now before I start really seriously rambling about nothing. And which actually is my expertise, one of my superpowers. But I will see you soon with many different things. And happy December. We're almost there as I film this. Bye.